right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are joining us from. My name is Michael Oyagha, and I'm so happy to have you on today's conversation. It's going to be a very interesting one, and I'm sure you are ready because I have a very, very delectable, very intelligent, beautiful guest in the studio today, and together we'll be doing justice to the conversation. Remember, we are looking at parenting and we're looking at marriage. You may be asking why marriage and parenting. Of course, they are interwoven, they go together. So you can't take away the other one from the other leg. All right. But before I begin to bore you with my long talk, let me quickly introduce our guest today. She is a marriage counselor. She's a certified coach, and she's very, very passionate about children, passionate about family, passionate about marriage. And you need to see her when she's I'm sure you get to know that by the time we get into the conversation today. Please join me as I welcome Mrs. Ijoma Mokwe. Ma, it's so good to see you today.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here doing this with you.
I know what it took us to pull you out of your very busy schedule to have you on this program. I'm sure that we're going to utilize the time we have so much. I know you have a lot to say to us today, and then we'll see how we flow. So how are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Okay, so today we are looking at conversation around marriage and then parenting, which I know you are very, very passionate about. A lot is happening in the marriage space, and it is time we need to begin to talk about it because so many negative things are flying there in the air, in the social media, and people are beginning to have weird notions and ideas about marriage. But before we get into marriage generally, let's look at one of the key things that is very important when it comes to marriage, and that is communication. Okay. Now, when it comes to communication, it's very important. It's like many couples are not getting it right in the area of communication. What do you think are the problems in this area?
Okay, thank you so much. I've been in this marriage space for 31 years.
Whoa, awesome. So I'm still learning now. I'm still like I said.
Well, it depends on we are on different journeys. When you start, okay. Some people are yet to start. You should know that. Okay. So it is when you start, and God calls us at different times to start. Yes. Some started earlier, some started whenever you start, whenever you wake, is your mother. Yeah. Okay, so I have seen both what we call the Christian marriage, those that say we are born again, we are led by God and all that, and other people. I see that presently, I don't think it was like this before, but presently, the whole thing is so glaring. Everyone could see that just a problem.
Okay.
But those that are in the church, because I also, at one point or the other, I struggle with it. So communication is something that it's not just only about a marriage. Wherever you have humans, in every relationship, because it's not a relationship that is marriage, it's place of work, we have relationship. So once there is no communication, or there is communication gap, a lot is going to happen. So if we come to marriage, we talk about 3 things that are causing problem. The first one is communication. If you get your communication right, then every other thing flows.
So that's like the foundation.
It is the foundation. And when we do not get it right, every other thing crumbles. So we talk about communication, we talk about sex, we talk about money. That is for those that are married. Right now, communication is the basis. It is the basis.
That's very correct. Communication, sex, or love making. But I always love to make a distinction between sex and love. For those who are not married, they're having sex.
Yes,
those who are married, are
making love. Yes.
Communication, love making, or sex, and then money. I think we need to look at that, but not today. I'm talking about the area of the sex, love making, and the area of money, because this also affects marriage, but communication in particular. There is this book that was written by, what's his name? Something Chapman, talking about love language. I think that is one of the issues that's affecting marriages, because couples don't understand that when it comes to love or when it comes to marriages, There is a language that you speak, just like you said earlier, which is very correct. Communication in business, communication in a place of education, in a place of work, and the rest of that. Now, let's look at love languages, because I know that if I'm saying one thing, I'm speaking my language, for example, my native language, and you don't understand my native language. Though I'm communicating, I'm saying something rather, but I'm not communicating because you're not getting my vibe.
I will feel you are cussing me. That's the real feeling.
Oh, you think I'm speaking in tongues?
I don't feel, I don't know. The normal human being will feel you are cussing.
Can we relate that to marriage?
Okay, so talking about communication.
Yes.
Remember that when we talk about communication, it is a message. Someone has a message.
Okay.
You release your message. You send it through a channel.
Okay.
The message moves and gets to the end, and the receiver gets it.
And
So
interprets it.
and interprets it. And after interpretation, it gives you a feedback.
Yeah.
It is when the person has given you a feedback, that's when you know whether you've communicated or not.
Okay.
And that was happened the other time when both of us we talked about coming. We talked about coming here, and I'm going to still get to that when I feel that, oh, if it was last week, it would have been okay for me.
Yeah.
So while we are talking about next week, my mind quickly cut that last week, and I left my house, started coming here.
To the studio, and I was not here.
So for you, that was a communication.
I passed the message.
Yes. When it got to me, if I went the day when I asked you and you say you are not here, I went to read the chat again, and that was what I started. I didn't even tell anybody anything. I just took my phone. I just took my
Now for those who are listening to us, they may be wondering what all the time. Okay, we're supposed to have a session a week or so ago. Not a week ago. We are supposed to be this week actually.
Yes.
Yes. And I sent a message on WhatsApp. But okay, fine. Now I sent a message on WhatsApp to Madam, and she had interpreted it that we were to meet last week instead of this week. Okay. So the feedback she gave was she came to the studio, but I was not in the studio. So you can see that there was a breach. So the message I sent was interpreted in a different way. And then the feedback was also different.
Yeah.
And I see that affecting marriages a lot.
That is exactly what the problem is. That is exactly what the problem is. So you said something else, your spouse understood something else. And because he understood something else, he also interpreted it in a different way.
Yeah.
He began to act based on what he or she understood.
Yeah.
And you are like, I haven't said anything, I haven't done anything wrong. Why
are you acting like this?
Why are you acting like this? That's actually the book that said why you act the way you act. So you see that book where you are the it is, if we could read that book and understand it,
Okay.
It is actually what is going to help you to understand both your spouse, yourself, your child, the people working with you, a lot. That book, everybody should go and read it. Get it, read it, digest it. It will help you to understand yourself, understand your spouse, your children, and all that. Now, communication, when we talk about communication, you see, relating communication to love language.
Okay.
We have about 5 love languages. So, in those 5 love languages, let me mention some of them. One is affirmation.
Okay.
The other one is giving someone a gift. Another one is time. That's
attention,
making time to. And which one is the other 3 ones? The other second, other ones, I'm going to mention them later. Okay. But what happened is that, because that's where we're having communication issues. Let me paint a scenario now. Your own love language. Your own love language is time. Okay. You want that your spouse spends some time, quality time with you. Talking, gisting, looking at each other's faces, looking at you when you smile and say, oh, I like your
I'm forgetting that I need to go to office sometimes.
So, and my own is okay, gifts.
Yeah.
I would love you to shower me with gifts, buy me flowers, Might be some.
Ice cream, chicken.
Okay, let's even say that a man is the person that wants gifts. Well, most times we feel that it's the woman that
I want
needs.
gifts.
So now let's see that it is the woman that wants time,
Time.
and is the man that instead of you to spend time with me, you are giving me gifts.
Mm.
It's not going to work. That's why you keep saying,
it's like putting the cat before the horse.
or even the round peg and
The square hole.
well, you feel that you have done enough. I bought you a car. I started a business for you.
Yeah.
I took you to an expensive holiday trip
Yeah.
and all that. But I need you to spend time with me. That's I saw you for 2 or 3 days and that was the end. It's no time
It's
again.
like sounds very, very familiar. Maybe because we watch a lot of Nollywood in this part of the world. But on a very serious note, I think this is very important. The man is buying a gift, or the man is buying the gift, and he thinks he's speaking the love language of the woman. But she's saying no. What I need is not the gift. The gifts are good, but I need the time. I need the attention.
It's you I need, not just the gift. Because we know that even women of this time, we have women that have cash. They can buy that gift for themselves. Of course, talking about all the 5 love languages, all of us, we exhibit almost each of them at
different times.
Yes, and at different majors.
Okay.
But when you take a test, because there's a test to know your love language,
Okay.
it shows you your own particular love language. That we have the highest percentage when you have taken the test. So sometimes with my own love, like maybe if my own is gift, I love gift, then I also think that my spouse love gifts.
Yeah.
I keep showering my spouse with gifts without knowing that what my spouse even needed most was my maybe affirmation. You keep praising the person showering. Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh, you look so amazing. You are great.
Yeah, the only cockroach in my cupboard. No, it's out of affirmation actually. It's not of affirmation actually.
Thank God. So these are where we get it wrong. So when the person misinterpreted your gift, it's not going to show a much appreciation. Even if you appreciate, oh, thank you. I mean, like, I just got you a car. You know how much this car costs.
And when the expected feedback is different from the feedback that is given, then there is going to be a conflict.
There is. Definitely. There's going to be a conflict. Well, this is actually most of the things that happen in the home that causes a conflict. Now, let's even look at why is it that when someone speaks, the other person hears and don't even understand. So, yes, it could be just like what happened that when you are stressed, you are really stressed.
Okay.
You could, someone that is stressed, you are talking something because the person is not, the mind is not there. That person is not there looking at you. He's there, but
he's not hearing you.
Even though the person is there, he's just bodily present. The person has been stressed out whenever you are talking. That's also why couple, when you want to talk with your partner to discuss important issues, look for a time that will be convenient.
Okay.
When the person is well settled and relaxed, not when the person has stressed himself out and you are talking, he enters from here and leaves from the other. The person, tomorrow, when you ask the person, say, did you tell me something like that? And the person was like, what are you saying?
So we need to create the right atmosphere.
Right atmosphere, right time.
One religious leader used to have a program in his church, Atmosphere for Miracle.
Oh.
So we should have an atmosphere for proper communication.
Proper communication, yes. It is very, very important. It's very, very important. So another one is when you think that assumption, I know what he wants to say.
So you assume or you preempt what he is going to say, interpret, make your conclusion, and just
you are not ready to listen. You just make your conclusion. You just assume that, oh, Is it not my wife? I've married this my wife for like
10
10
years.
years. For 10 years. I know the next thing she's going to say. And you just make conclusion, assume and conclude. By that time, because you have concluded, you won't even hear what the person
is saying.
And that's also when you have assuming you have a negative mindset about someone, you wouldn't know when that person has changed. Remember the story of is it Philemon or the story on if what's the name of that person?
Onesimus.
In the Bible.
Yes.
So Paul was telling, he said, he has changed.
Yes, was telling Philemon about Onesimus.
Yes, he has changed. When he come receive him,
yeah.
What about if he doesn't change his mind about this? Someone that have done something, you have done business with that person maybe for about 10 years ago, and the person defrauded you. And right now, once the name is mentioned,
it's a red flag.
It's a red flag. You don't even know if the person has changed. You just conclude, I know it doesn't have. Is it not this person? Forget about it. You quickly conclude. So it also happens when you spend some time with your spouse and you feel that this person doesn't really understand what I'm saying. If you think it continues like that.
At that palace, we call it finish. I have seen the person finish, so there's nothing the person want to say. Just assume I know this person. I wasn't going to say now.
Finish. You are saying the person finish. So there is no other thing this person is going to talk about. What else are you going to talk about? I know everything's going to talk. So these are the things. Another one is if the person that is making this communication, if the person does not even understand at all what we are saying.
Okay.
Because you can say something and the person does not understand. I did not ask.
For clarification.
So for clarification, it can also affect your communication. I know women talk a lot. He said that a woman speaks, is it 10,000 words per day? When men, they speak 20.
That's actually I wish you can convert that to dollars. They can be making so much money from that conversation.
Oh my God. So, but what is important is, what are you talking about?
Saying?
Are you discussing humans or ideas? If you discuss ideas are going to help other humans, or ideas are likely going to make you money. But if it is discussing humans,
irrelevant things.
But then women, because they love gist, that they speak about 10,000 words and men speak about 2,000 words. So you are talking to your man, you talk. Babe, what do you say?
And then you say, but I've been talking, you're not listening. You didn't know when you missed him.
She wants someone to gist with. So it is okay that you're going to make yourself available for your wife to gist with.
Yeah.
Even though some things they are talking, you feel that it doesn't make sense. And they like talking. Listen. Look at the person. Drop your phone. You see?
Yeah, that's true.
It's got a lot. Once you're looking, I'm talking to, but you're watching television and you're looking at. It even happens, not only your spouse right now, even our children. So our children will say, my parents are not listening to me. Why is she saying that? You are doing your chores, your daughter have come to talk to you, and you are saying, okay, I'm listening, but you are busy
doing something else.
She wants your undivided attention. So the phone issue, when you are talking, because another thing is listening. For someone to speak, we are talking about communication.
Yeah.
For someone to speak, it needs to know that another person is listening to me. But if you are not listening, why should I?
There was a point of talking.
If you are not listening, why should I speak? The women, are we here?
I'm sure they are listening to us.
The men are not talking to you because you do shut them down.
Okay.
Our men will not talk to us because we shut them down. Before you finish thinking, you want to tell me that what we are just saying is off points. What you are saying doesn't make much sense. You want to prove that you know it better.
Okay.
See, finish. So, since he will make a comment or say something, you misinterpret it, you don't even give him a benefit of doubt.
And for everything you say, you have 2 or 3 more things to say.
So you counter everything. You shut him down. This is what is causing problem in relationships now. Communication.
Right.
The person is communicating, even though you don't understand him. Could you ask for clarification? Could you use another method? You have spoken so many words and the person didn't understand. When you also come to our children, because we talk about the learning style of a particular person.
Okay.
Some people, you're talking to them, they are not auditory learners. They are really not. But once you bring something like this, okay, show a picture or combination of
pick it.
That's why some person will never come to your program if it is just voiced. He will love to hear the one of combination of voice and video, see your face. So that is different styles of learning. You will prefer to pay higher, but looking at you at the screen as you talk, they hearing your voice and all that.
Makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense that just some people will not even want to. The one of written, for me, I say, give me all the books in the world. I can read them. It makes more meaning when I listen to you.
Okay.
Even if it is 5 minutes, I hear your voice. Summarize
Sends
that
the
book.
message home better and clearer.
It sends the message better and clearer.
Now, looking at all these challenges that we have when it comes to communication, because the problems are there, but it's also good for us to be able to identify what are the possible ways of improving communications. Because I believe that if couples can improve their communication, then the marriages will be better, the homes will be safer, there will be peace, there will be harmony, there will be unity, and the rest of that. Now, you've talked about assumption, preempting your partner, what he or she wants to say, which will cause a finish. You have seen the person finish, you know what he's going to say, and the rest of that. Now, I think that couples need to begin to pay attention to some of these little foxes that can spoil the vine. The fact that you have been married in your case now, for example, you've been married for 31 years.
Yeah.
So 31 years minus 11 years. So I still have like 20 years to grow up. Right? That's a lifetime notice. Now, it's to be wrong for me to say, okay, because I've been married to my wife for like 11 years now, I already know everything about her. I think that is a very wrong perception. I always say to her that every day I'm learning new things. Every day I'm learning new things. And that is because I'm intentional about getting to know her better. I'm intentional about my communication style and pattern. Wanting to know, okay, I see her in the living room and she's just quiet. And I ask her, how are you? And she said, I'm fine. But what the mouth is saying is different from what the body is saying.
The body language.
Yes. And so I don't want to just take that I am fine. I want to dig deeper rather now, and then try to know what is the underlining, behind that I am fine. I don't know. What will you tell couples in this perspective? Because for me, what I apply is being intentional. Being intentional, getting to dig, getting to ask questions, getting to spend more time. Let me give you an example. I got to the house yesterday. I was very tired from going out for some shopping. And as I sat down on my reading table in the parlor to do some work, it just occurred to me that I've left the house since morning. I've not had any time with my children. Okay, no, that was the day before yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday. I've left the house since morning to the office. I've not had time with my children. And then I just shut down my laptop, went into their room, sat down on the bed, and they were like, Daddy, boys are not allowed in this room. So I said, so am I boys? I'm not boys. I'm a boy. So we're not boys. So they say, yes, whether boy or boys, that's the same thing. I say, well, okay, for today, just permit me to stay in your room. So I sat down on the bed and I got gisting with them. I had my dinner in their room, which is very much unlike me. I had my dinner there in their room just to spend time with them. And then when they saw that I was actually serious, I was going to stay in their room, everybody came in, sat down. My wife came, sat down. And as I was eating, we're gisting, they were telling me things about it. So I think if we adopt that style of being intentional, that will go a long way to help our communication with our spouses. What other areas should we look at that will help to improve communication?
There's a lot that is going on about that communication, because now you do all that because you are intentional.
Yeah.
And it also depends on your programming.
Okay.
A lot of us come from different homes. You come from a home whereby a broken home, let's say, for instance, that's a programming already. And more importantly is when that person is not healed.
Okay.
We have not gone through reprogramming. We have not gone through therapy. The problem is still there. And you're now married. You brought in that, even the fear that your parent didn't succeed.
It's there already.
It's there already.
It's affecting your mind.
It's going to affect you. Then, even when your parents are there, they are not divorced, and you see that there's no friendship. It's a kind of instruction passed down. Because that is the kind of marriages we have. And that is the old traditional marriage we have, whereby a man gives instruction.
Okay.
The wife is there
just to follow,
to accept, to receive the instructions and obey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By the time I'm coming back I want my food to be on that table. Yes, sir. So instruction. And when it is like that, there is that friendship will not be there. So seeing that this is what a lot of us, the young people of today, that's what you see your parents go through.
Yeah.
I'm sure that by the time your children grow, they will have a different perspective about marriage. Definitely. So, whereby some men would have come back, they are sitting down and they are giving instruction. Where is so? Didn't she hear my voice? Yeah. She not going to come and say hello to me or welcome me.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people are withdrawing. Children, a lot of withdrawal from marriage thing, from family thing. Family used to be the best thing that have ever happened to us, but today a lot are really happening. So how are we going to improve? How to improve is we have to start training.
Okay.
Because there's something you said when you are talking about 20 years gap. It's not actually about the age or the years.
Okay.
It's about what you know and put to practice. Yes. Someone who is not even married or who is married for 2 years, 3 years could learn these things, begin to practice it, and even enjoy more blissful home.
You see the impact on the marriage
than someone who has been there for
a long time,
20 years, who doesn't know the right thing to do and is not doing it.
Okay.
Or who knows what to do but feel that, but I watched my parents did it this way. So that issue of what you read from the book, what you watched from the movie, what you saw your parents do.
The media that was given to us by our parents.
That is one thing. So what we need is reprogramming. And you can't get the reprogramming except you intentionally submit yourself to go through form of training,
okay,
coaching,
okay,
over time. It's not a one-day stuff. You talk about your wife, you are saying you want to know her better every day. Because people change.
Sure.
When we move, by the time you married her, there was a way she was behaving, and by the time she got pregnant, that pregnancy would have affected her. Definitely. Certain behavior will develop.
Definitely.
When she has the first child, now having the second child comes with additional
changes.
So we keep growing and we keep changing. It doesn't mean that the person has changed completely, but there is transformation at different levels.
Okay.
I'm sure that the experience you're having right now is different from what I'm having right now. Okay. My children are all grown, they are all adults. Okay. So since they are grown and they are adults, someone that is still having a child that's below 10 years, and so we are different seasons of life, knowing and understanding the season you are into helps. But what I'm saying, for us to do better, and young people who are trying to get into marriage and who are afraid of what is going on, the people that are even doing the wrong one are louder. They are making a lot of noise. And it is their noise we hear
Everywhere.
everywhere. We hear their noise everywhere. People of my age and down, or how do I escape it? Most of us are not on social media. We do our things, keep it. When you even say, post your picture, say, how will I post? So, but what we see here and there is, and it makes young people to close their mind. Marriage is God's institution.
Sure.
Marriage is honorable. Anyone who says that marriage is not honorable, we have himself or herself to face God. A lot of things we have done have discouraged so many people from coming into marriage.
Sure.
But the people that are doing it, of course, if they repent tomorrow, God will still accept them.
Definitely.
But why will someone now follow or join them? So there is going to be a kind of reprogramming. If this is not done, that's why I tell people about premarital counseling. In premarital counseling, you will be taught about communication, management of money,
management, child upbringing,
different topics. Do you even know, as we have talked about some homes now, when you see all those things and the way it affects them, that's why people are not coming to marriage. And when they want to marry, they come with that kind of programming. But when you have gone through premarital counseling, of course, we do it in different churches. I did it in during my own time. So can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
What we do in the churches, they are very, if I say it's vague,
It's not clear.
There is a lot we are not doing. There is a lot. There is a lot we are not doing. The churches, now, if we can be true to ourselves, that curriculum you have, how did you come about it? How do you come about it? That curriculum first. When was the last time it was updated?
It was reviewed and updated.
The curriculum you used about 20 years ago, you're still using it without upgrading. Now, during COVID, that's when we started worshiping from home.
Okay.
Before then,
there was nothing like virtual.
There was nothing like virtual. If you hear that someone is doing service from the phone, it is like a taboo. Why will you see? But today, people stream everywhere and we watch them from everywhere. That is because of the age we are into, the time we are into. So it will not be wrong for someone to say, you can't stream. Or when you see some people stream, say, you are not supposed to do that. With streaming online, there are people that, even the medical people that don't go to church, don't have that luxury
the benefit of joining the service.
They have the benefit of joining. Because what is this pastor that prays by 7 o'clock a.m.? Okay. You know, the kind of people that from all different places. I think that thing started during that COVID time.
Yes.
So looking at times and being able to update what we are doing, a lot of things are really going on. If the institutions, I mean the different churches now, could take their marriage committee for training. Of course, they shouldn't hear this.
So training now comes at different levels. We've talked about reprogramming.
This one that is for individuals.
Yes.
Which they will go through counseling, premarital counseling and all that. Of course, people that are into that had trauma should also go for.
Sure.
But if you go for a premarital counseling that is well equipped, it can give you all this.
Okay.
Now, going to the church level, different institutions that are called churches, they could have their people. But people go through those their program, and when they come out, you still see a lot of mistakes.
So there's a need for another level of training.
There's a need for another. Either that they send their representative to go for training, or they invite counselors, professional counselors to come train their people. So they will give them the updated premarital
information, data and details that would help.
That is going to help.
Would be couples, particularly this Gen Z age that we find ourselves now. So it's important for one to be intentional, so as to improve your communication with your spouse, particularly for those who are thinking of getting into marriage. Madam has told us, and it's true. In fact, I am enjoying my marriage. Some people are enduring their marriages, but I'm enjoying my own. But I think it just depends on you. As you lay your bed, so you will lie on it. So intentionality is important when it comes to communication. Number two, she had talked about reprogramming. What worked for my father may not work for me.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I tell people when I have this kind of opportunity, my father had 2 wives. He had 2 wives and he had 16 children. Okay. So we're a complete football team. We had the coach, we had the assistant coach and the rest of that. And then we had the people that we sit on the bench, to help when somebody has
You think have a beautiful marriage.
Yes. But I told myself, I saw the way my parents' marriage went with my stepmom. And I said to myself, no, I need to do something different. So right from time, I decided to reprogram myself and not to follow the manual of my father. I'm not indicting him. But of course, they worked at their own time.
What was available for them?
Yes, you mentioned time earlier. Now, what was available for them as at that time was what was prevailing. Okay, so now we need to look at, okay, fine. Now this our time, what is prevailing in the now? The challenges will always be there. You want to go to office, you want to go to work, but intentionality is there. Reprogramming is there. Training. Now, training can include formal training as a person that wants to get married. Can also include listening to tapes, getting information, outsource information,
reading books. To read books.
Reading books. I mentioned somewhere some time ago, I think about a week or so ago, that before I got married, I read this book, this book, Every Woman.
Oh. I read it.
I read that book, and that book was actually written for women, but I needed to read it so I could understand
the woman.
Do you call it anatomy or something? So that when my wife is pregnant and she begins to behave somehow,
do those are our own things.
Assume that she's possessed. Okay, and I'll begin to wonder. Sometimes I'm sorry to the women out there. I'm very sorry. But sometimes, when this hormonal something begins to happen, somebody can just be with you now, and she was laughing with you. And the next moment, she's frowning. I begin to wonder, what happened? What did I do? And she said you didn't do anything. And she actually knew you didn't do anything. But you begin to think, have I done something? Have I done something? And, it can lead to a lot of other things. So training, individual training, couples who are already married can also go for trainings.
Yes.
Can go for trainings.
As I am now, I've been going for training for years.
It will help a lot.
I am into mentorship. I am in group mentorship. I also have my own group. So for years, I have been doing that because I know that it's not about the age of your marriage. Okay. It's about what you know.
That is helping the marriage.
Helping the marriage.
Pushing it further. I think
it is about what you know. So everybody, it is a need. Why it is a need? I saw even before I started being very, very intentional going, I spend money on courses.
Okay.
A lot of people spend money on their hair, the kind of hair they wear and all that. But my mental health, my emotional health, my physical health, they all mean a lot to me. I know that I had a lot of health issues because of what my emotional health was also affected. And it affected. So if I could keep all these things into place,
yes,
it's a lot
to improve your person.
For me to get money, for me to make money, I need to be in a very good state of mind. For you to do anything, you have to be in a very good state of mind. Even you need to be healthy.
Yeah.
Both spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. Because even spiritually, if you are not healthy, if you don't, you can't function.
Yeah. Can't function.
So investing into one's life, investing it. The challenge I have is that some people don't know that this is a need. I just finished a program that I did, a free 2 days premarital course. Okay. And I'm talking about the paid one that we are still enrolling people. We are going to be starting by November 8th, so thereabouts. So, but I see that some people don't even, what are they saying? Like,
they don't want to make that investment.
The problem is not even that they don't know why they should do the investment. Because if they know why, they will prefer to use that money to buy the good clothes, and everybody will say, it looks so good. It looks so good. But then you enter marriage today, the next day you are having issues. You're like, they told me that marriage is a trap or that marriage is a scam. And that is what I'm seeing. I don't swear it is a scam. Marriage is a scam.
Everything is a scam. Also, education is a scam for those who don't understand it.
But the problem is that they didn't even know this thing. You didn't, the adequate preparation. You felt that your parents, what school did they go? Did they go into any school? They didn't go to, who taught them? And in the global world we are into, with all the film and movies we have watched, and with everything that's going on
out there,
social media, you still want to go into marriage without going through a process, training and retraining yourself. You just want to go there, and after 1 year,
that's a case of pitiful preparation leading to plenty failures. Now, we've seen that the issue of lack of adequate communication or proper communication or understanding the communication skills that should be employed in marriage will always lead to conflict.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why a lot of young people are afraid of marriage. Should they really be afraid of marriage? Because marriage is fine for me. It's sweet.
It's sweet to you. Is it sweet to others?
Okay.
But the problem is, as I've just said before, the voices of the negative things are louder. So that's what...
Than the good ones.
Than the good ones. So that's what they hear. And because they hear that, hey, this person are divorced, so after 20 years, they are divorced. After 11 years, they are divorced.
Even after 1 year. No, after 2 years, actually, because by law.
By law, it's after 2 years.
Yes, after 2 years.
So, is this something I should go into? Then I'll follow the stigmatization. Is it not okay I stay on my own? Is it, even in the church, people feel that we have been scammed. During this training I was telling them that you got someone from the church. It could be the God's will for you. That's true. Okay. How prepared is that person for marriage? Okay. Someone can be a church. Somebody can even be a pastor. But you don't know this, is that you don't know it.
And what you don't know, you don't know.
What you don't know, you don't know. You know the Bible. You know you have the Spirit of God. You have Holy Spirit. We believe that the Holy Spirit will teach us. Yes, the Holy Spirit teaches us all things. But you go to university, you should have... Why should you go to university? You should have stayed at home and let the Holy Spirit teach you everything. Holy Spirit will teach you from some things you know. He will guide you from... Even when you are writing the exam, it's what you have read. The Holy Spirit will say, give you a prompt. Put it this way, put it this way. And so you need to fill your cup. Your cup will not be empty and you want the Holy Spirit. A lot of conflicts. We are talking about why they are afraid.
Yes.
Really, they have to be afraid. A person like me, I don't want to fail at marriage. And that's what some people, they don't want to fail.
Fear of failure.
They don't want to fail. They don't want to also to get into with someone and they will not be victim for life.
Okay.
Since you are talking about that they should not divorce. So they should not be that marriage is during the marriage. Now, research has showed that if you can get it right from the beginning, you are in for 75% success in your marriage. Mm-hmm. So it is about getting it right from the beginning. Now, when we talk about conflict, we shouldn't be afraid of conflict. Conflict is a normal thing. Conflict happens between every human being. Wherever you see people, whether it is in marriage, in office, wherever you have people, more than one person, there's going to be conflict.
Even between the tongue and the teeth, there's conflict. But once in a while, the tongue will want to pass the boundary and the teeth will bite it and send it back.
Barrister. Oh, God.
I'm just trying to portray the fact that conflicts are everywhere and it's important for us to note it. Conflicts are bound to happen, actually, but it is the way we handle it that matters.
Yes, conflicts are bound to happen. It is actually the way we handle it. Now, conflicts even have a positive side. Okay. Most times we look at the negative side. Conflicts have positive side, whereby I want to do something and you are telling me no. I'm like, I want to do this thing. Let me do it. Say no. By the time you are saying no, I will see that, why is he saying no? But when you have analyzed the reason you are telling me no to me, I will understand it. I would have saved ourselves from
troubles.
So why is it that why we have the issue is that there is going to be conflict, but the fact is that how do we resolve the conflict?
Right.
In the recent course I did my research on strategy, that's conflict resolution, the right way to resolve conflict. But that is the big issue that families and marriages are having. Not knowing the right way to resolve issues. The men want to give in because they are few people of few words. There's a conflict now between you and your wife. There's a disagreement, because when we say conflict, it's a disagreement. That is
stage of disagreement.
You want to buy a refrigerator. Your wife say, I want let's buy LG. And you say, let's buy Samsung. It's a disagreement.
Yeah.
The two of them works well, but we are now having issue with the brand we want to associate with. So if you can explain very well why we should go for this and not this, that's fine. So we are about to have conflict, but what do we do with the conflict? How do we handle the conflict? How do we handle the conflict? That is where the major issues are. For the men, I was saying that the men will like to, instead of talking, they don't have strength for talking. They will just say, another time, they want to leave the scene. When they say women are naggas,
they want to be involved.
You just pick the car key and zoom off. So we take their newspaper, just enter the room and close the door, or we just say, I'm coming, leave, go and drink.
When that happens, the other party may feel that he or she actually won. If it is the woman, she will feel like, yeah, I've won. And if it's the man, he will feel, yeah, I've won, because the woman didn't see anything. It gives a wrong impression also.
That's where a lot happens, because what I observe that in different homes now, we have conflicts that are unresolved. So when conflicts are not resolved, it begins to separate you. Both of you are here. This person is here. You keep moving further out. This person is moving here. You are having a lot of conflict. You are not resolving it. It is a problem. So for a woman wants to resolve the conflict. You have a conflict that the woman will say, okay, some of them will want to come using manipulation. When they cannot manipulate the man, they may begin to hide their figures. Take for instance, now your wife wants to send money to her brother, and she doesn't have the money. She comes to ask you the money for the money. You not say, we sent him money some time ago. Why does he need the money again? We already have our budget for the months, and we have a lot at hand. We might not be able to send, and she is keen on sending that money. She might come another way. Now, I'm not talking directly about your wife. I'm talking about women in general.
Yes.
She might come another way to say, that she has a need of something. It's urgent.
Just to get the cash.
Just to get the money. When she gets the money from there, she will settle. So he has hid that information. Or when she knows that if I tell him, he will not bring the money. But couples are supposed to work together. It's not you talking about your brother or your sister, my mother, or this person. You are supposed to have collective,
kind of.
Yes, work as a team. What do we need? If you give your brother that money or you give your mother that money, what about your family? What are your children going to eat? What is your husband going to eat? What are you going to eat, you yourself? And some people will want to help others and be in need. I know that the Bible commands us to help.
To be our brother's keeper.
But there's a level at which you do it, it will be wrong. That is mismanaging the fund of the family. And that's likely going to cause issues. And for some women, when a man, because one of the ways a man also try to resolve conflict is by giving instruction. I am the man of this house. What I say stands.
When a man gets to the point of reminding the wife that he's the man of the house, it means that he's no longer the man of the house. He has lost that position. That's my view anyway, and I try as much as possible to have to remind my wife that I'm the man of the house. I think it doesn't have to get to that point. So I can hear from you now that one, conflicts are bound to happen because they are inevitable, they are unavoidable, as it were. But when it happens, what we do matters. How do we resolve conflict? Don't go manipulating. Don't feel that, okay, I am the final authority in this house and it has to be my way. It doesn't have to be my way all the time.
Yes,
It has to be the accommodating of the other party, listening to the other person. And then you said conflict can also be good, can be positive.
Yes,
If we can just calm down, like the boy said in that Bara video, sit down, calm down, stretch your leg and be calming down. It can be good for the home. It may be that what the woman is saying, the man is not seeing it. But if only you can just calm down and look closely at what she is saying, and you will see the positive side of it. Yesterday, something happened while we were coming from church, myself and my second daughter. We went very late, actually, so just two of us went to the church. And when we were coming back, there's this security man on the street gate. He's always asking, oh, pastor, give me money, pastor, give me money. Sometimes I give. But yesterday I said, no, I'm not giving. I just told him, don't worry, next time. And then my daughter was like, Daddy, why didn't you give him money?
It's a regular wish. A regular practice.
She felt, but you have money in your pocket, why didn't you give him? And I told her that, no, that it's good to do good. It's good to be generous. But some other time, you don't make people depend on others. You should also teach them that they need to go and earn a living for themselves, and then don't make them lazy. Don't make yourself the source for other people's means of livelihood. I think that comes down to the issue of husband and wife working together. If you come to me and I say no, it doesn't mean that the no will always be no, 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 no every time.
It doesn't.
And it doesn't also mean that I must say yes, 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 yes all the time. And when I say yes, I love you. When I say no, I hate you. There's nothing like that. It's just a matter of understanding. So if couples can come together and have this basic understanding, then it will be easy for conflict to be resolved. For me, what works for me when it comes to conflict in my house, let me say this. My wife knows it anyway, so it's not a secret actually. I look for trouble a lot. I look for trouble a lot. So I'm like the troublemaker in the house. And then when it starts, she can just tell you have started. Okay. But then if it's the other way around, we have an understanding. And the understanding, right from the days of our courtship, we said, look, if there's any conflict, no third party should hear it, because we need to learn how to understand one another. Building that trust, building that confidence, building that understanding. So you should be able to tell me what it is that I did that is wrong. And I should be able to tell you what it is that you have done that is wrong. And secondly, if there is any misunderstanding, you don't sleep until we've discussed it. You don't sleep. If the other person sleeps, sometimes I do that. It's because I just want to go and sleep. But the rule is we need to discuss it before you go and sleep. And I can tell you, seriously, that for the past 11 years, it has helped. It has helped. It's not as if we don't go for counseling once in a while. But you see that principle, that rule of tell me what I've done. Now, we find it very easy to sit down together. Sit down in the room, of course, not where the children are, because you don't have to get them involved in your misunderstanding. You'll be sending a wrong signal to them. We find it very easy to sit down in the room and we talk. We talk heart to heart. Okay, what did you do? What did I do? How did I do it? What did I do wrong? And the other person can open up. Because I understand that when it comes to marriage, the two coming together, like the Bible said, they become one. So I should be able to resolve whatever misunderstanding I have with my wife and not wait until a third party comes in. So we sit down together, we talk heart to heart, open up, tell me what it is. And a lot of the things, like I said, because I'm the one that is always looking for trouble, I'm the one that is always saying, I'm sorry. And that I'm sorry, you mean it. You just have to mean it. Because if you say I'm sorry today and you repeat that same thing tomorrow, it gives a signal that you're actually not sorry for what you did before. So when you say you are sorry, you mean that I'm sorry, you stick to it, you avoid that thing that you have done before, except it happens unexpectedly. So I think if couples can also do this, it will help a lot to avoid conflicts. And then let me see this, because I know you still have one or two things to say in that area. From my interaction with young adults and from young people, I discovered that because couples get their children involved in their own conflicts, daddy said this to mommy said this to daddy, and there was a fight or there was exchange of words and the rest of that. Look, I don't want that kind of life for myself. I want one fairy tale kind of life where the man will come with us, what do they call it now, in shining armor and the rest of that, which of course does not really work. So if parents will avoid, or couples rather, would avoid getting their children involved in their own conflicts, maybe that will also help to remove the fears that we see in the minds of these young ones.
Okay, so talking about how to resolve conflict.
Yes.
Now, this is also where intentionality comes in.
Okay.
And effective communication. You could resolve the conflict with your wife because you have learned how to talk.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a free flow of information.
That's true.
What about if I am your wife and I tell you something and you say, you dare not say it? Do you think I will come back next time to talk to you? So that is where the issue is, from effective communication. Once there's effective communication, and now that's also part of what we teach people in premarital counseling. You and your spouse have to have a template on how to resolve conflict.
Okay.
When there is conflict, maybe nobody should angrily walk out. You just say that nobody should go to sleep until we have resolved it.
Yes.
So that is a template that you have gotten for yourself. Whereby some people, they don't have anything like that.
Okay.
And because also there is no communication, one person talks and the other person say, are you suspecting me? There are difficult conversations actually in marriage. Let's say, for instance, I'm a Christian, you are my husband, you are a Christian. But certain things happen that I don't understand. And I am afraid to come and talk to you. I'm afraid actually because there is a communication gap.
Yeah.
If there's a free flow, I can jokingly ask you. I can ask you that. Yeah. Or whether one person feels that I am your Lord, you are my
servant.
So, but when those difficult, how long will I continue to suspect that my husband is cheating on me, even though he's a pastor or a Christian, and I cannot ask? Because if I ask, this whole roof will come down. Those are difficult, but one has to
break the ice,
because you want to prove yourself wrong. That mind that is telling you your husband is cheating, or that's those people that have told you that your husband, they saw your husband, or that you need to prove them wrong. You need to clear your. Well, it is a difficult conversation, but we need to have it. If I should come to you and talk to you, you are a man, and maybe you will be disappointed. How will Mama? But the wife needs to clear. And if it is also the husband that needs to talk to the wife, the same thing. And that's where we talk about a third party.
Okay, come in.
It is we see it as it is wrong, or it is a taboo when third party comes in.
It's not.
But actually it is not. Now, there's a level where a third party should come in. The third party should not be your parents.
Okay.
That's it. Because already they will be biased. So don't bring in your parents. Don't bring in your close relatives. Okay. That's why you need to go for a counseling. That counseling should be even person that don't know you.
Okay.
So because the person does not know you, what is he going to be biased about? I don't know you. I don't know your wife.
So I'm just working based on the facts before me.
The fact before me. So there's nothing to be biased about. Why do I say so? I was actually a victim of someone not going for counseling. You have need for counseling. But my own is that, who do I talk to? Who will understand what I want to say without judging me?
Yes.
So when I see people not coming for counseling, I know that is also what they struggle with. But bottling up your emotions for a long time will cause a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So we need to resolve them. So how do we resolve it?
You've mentioned one now, counseling.
Counseling. Yes. So some people, we believe they also go to pastor. Yes, it's also good to go to pastor. Or I say you need to have a mentor. It mustn't be your pastor.
Okay.
The way also our pastors go about some things. Sometimes they just pass judgments. A woman, go and submit to your husband. And that's the end.
And that takes us back to the issue of training that we talked about before. Because if the pastor is actually trained, maybe he's a certified counselor or something, or a psychologist and the rest of that, it will help.
It will help a lot. It will really help a lot. So it is going to help a lot. But I do, some people now when they come, they'll tell you they don't want Christian counseling whereby you be quoting Bible for them. Because I know that is that is what the pastors quoted for them.
That's
maybe maybe one person is involved in somebody has involved in sex outside marriage. You didn't even want the other party to talk. You just say, just forgive. It is easy to say, very easy to say, but not as easy
to do.
Both of them need therapy sessions. I mean, because trust is broken. Yeah. Now you ask us, let us pray. What are we praying? We are not praying anything. You hurt me, you just say sorry. You just say sorry because the pastor said forgive him. Yeah. Okay, it appears I'm siding the women too much. Now I'm going to change my.
Whatever it is you say, it's just a matter of reversing
the other side.
Yes, it applies automatically to the other side. Yes, it's fine.
So third party in the marriage is actually very good. Why is it very good? Like if you have a difficult conversation, you don't know where to start. Okay. Take yourself to the counselor. Okay. The counselor will invite your husband. So even when you begin to talk, it's actually very important that you do not go to counselor to say that thing, that your husband hears it for you or your wife hears it from you, then hearing it from another person. Well, it also depends also that what works for you. If you have a mentor too, you go and discuss holding important or difficult conversation is very important. A lot of women, a lot of marriages, a lot of couples live as partners and live as
roommates.
The intimacy is no more there. The cordial relationship is no more there. You wake up, you face your life, I face my life. What is holding us together is the children. We talk about how to take care of them. So this whole thing will rub off on the children. Remember you said when parents will go and be involving their children.
Yeah.
It's actually when you don't have someone to talk to. It's also wrong to involve your children in your case. But you are looking for who will listen to you, who will hear you out. So the best thing is go for someone higher. It could be your pastor, it could be your mentor, it could be a counselor. I also see that men, you invite men for counseling, some of them will not come. So women too don't know the value of counseling.
Go to counsel me. He's not to counsel me. I've been in several counseling sessions with men, and if what you are telling them is not what they want to hear, it's very difficult. Really, it takes a lot of efforts to now want to, possibly use your influence.
Even as a man, we are talking to them. What do you think that will happen when a woman? So for a woman self, who is she?
But if a man is intentional about his marriage, he wants the marriage to work and to be blissful, I think it's one thing that needs to be put aside. And what's that? That's ego. Because it's ego that makes it difficult for a man to listen to a female counselor or listen to a male counselor. It's just ego. It's like, I'm a man, so what are you going to tell me?
Yeah.
But if you put aside that ego, it will help a lot. We are talking about peace in the home. Now, I tell my wife that because of the nature of my job as a lawyer, I go out every day. And as soon as I leave the house, I tune my mind for fights. As a lawyer, you're going to meet people who want to take your client's land, who wants to do this. So you must be ready to talk and then to fight and quote laws and the rest. But when I'm coming back to the house, I tune my mind. I'm coming home. There should be peace at home.
Yes.
So if it would take me putting aside my ego and meeting with a counselor and meeting with maybe my pastor or meeting with whoever is the person that can help me to achieve that peace in my home, I should be willing and ready to lay down that ego. so that that peace can be achieved in the home. I think there's whatever sacrifice we make for us to have peace in the home is not too much. It's not too much at all.
Yes, it is also good when both of them are working for the peace.
Okay.
Sometimes you see it is just one person.
That's looking
Is
for
either
peace.
the male is looking for the peace and the woman is always there.
Looking for pieces.
Shebi, are you not? Are you tired now? Have you gone to the pastor? Shebi, I've gone to the pastor. Do you want to go again? What did you tell him? You told her, or the man is saying, okay, every time you are going for counseling, what are you going for? So that is even when the person has not seen that there is need. So one person has seen that there is need, the other person is not seeing it. That is different values. When there are different values, what makes sense to me does not make sense to you.
Okay.
So even the conflict we are talking about, this is also what brings different values.
Yeah.
You believe that I've gone to university, I'm pretty, everybody's looking for me and all that, and people are begging me, so for
I'm what in the market.
I'm what in the market. Then I just say, let me manage you, and I come here now. You are telling me, you are trying to ask me to do this and do that. So different values. She values you are looking at her virtues. A virtue is what makes a woman. Do you have the virtues? Yes, the beauty is there. I was telling them that beauty comes at a time, the beauty fails. Okay. There's a time beauty and money will fail. Okay. When beauty and money fails, what happens?
What keeps the marriage?
God keeps the marriage. But these things at a time fail. The money is there though, but that's not what we need at this point.
Yeah.
What we need is the virtue. Being responsible. So these are the things where you have the same value. Remember also that we come from different backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
Because we come from different backgrounds.
Different exposure,
different experiences, different interpretations. So these are the things that cause conflict. But knowing how to unite, even in our differences, is very important. I am coming from a different background. You are coming from, in my home, we fight a lot. In this home, they don't even fight. But now, all of us are here. We want to make a team, want to form a team. Can we take out some of those things that happened there we don't like? And from here, and that's some things that happen we don't like. When you come to your home, you are building a different home. Sure. Different from your parents. Entirely. So look for something that will make your home unique and that will build it. So when we do, they will discover this and give it attention. It will really happen. Homes need healing. Ability to know that our homes need healing. And it is not one person that can achieve it.
Have to come together.
It has to be a collective effort, a teamwork. It will work.
What you just said now sounded very familiar to me. I think it applies to me, coming from a home where they fight all the time with 16 children and 2 wives. And then Fuji has some commotion, and getting married to my wife. The father was a military man. The mom was a very quiet woman. They grew up in the barracks, the place where you have discipline, everything goes order and the rest of that. When my house, there was no discipline, there was no order. You can just do anything.
Anything was.
My father would just give you one dirty slap and you would just begin to and the rest of that. So now getting married to my wife, I need to now begin to adjust because she's quiet, she's cool, she wants things to be done meticulously. I can just come back from the office, just remove my trouser and hang it on the door, and she's like, no, that shouldn't be there. And I'm like, this is the way I've been doing it since I was born.
Programming.
That's back to programming, So it took a lot of time for me to say, okay. You need to calm down now and listen to her. Learn from her. In as much as you are also teaching her, but learn from her also. So that there can be peace in your home. And understanding that I have a different exposure from a different background entirely. Coming from a Ajebako kind of background and getting married to an Ajebota lady, different world.
Yes.
So it's important for us to now see that, okay, how do we want to build our own home? What are the things we want to expose our children to? What are the things we want them to know about us as individuals and about us as a couple and about this marriage and the rest of that? Something happened to me one day and I was so happy. If I was in the church, I would say it's a testimony, but I'm not in the church now, so I'm in the studio.
What are you saying?
I was so happy that I did something. I was driving with my car, with my daughter, my second child, and I said something about my wife, and she said, "Okay, I know you guys are a great couple. I know."
Can you imagine? That's great.
It gave me so much joy. That's wow. So my labor is not
even your daughter noticed that.
My labor is not in vain. So what I need to do now is to consolidate that impression, which of course we are not acting, we are living our normal life, and they are seeing it. And it will be good for them to grow up with that same impression and then carry it into their home. So I'm already getting ready. I'm planning for that man that is coming to marry my daughters because all this effort I am putting in place, somebody has to pay for it.
Yes. So the payment is not even how much is it going to pay. So the payment is that you need to get the man that is going to marry your daughter to go through the system that will prepare him.
Okay. So handle the treasure I'm giving to him.
If he's not prepared, he will mess up the whole thing. He has to be prepared. He needs to go through a system that is going to structure him back, make him to understand that this person is a treasure. And by that time, he too will be a treasure. If not, that's why we keep preparing the women. I will say the men.
They do.
Prepare the men, they will destroy the woman you spend all your life preparing.
That's true.
Everybody needs preparation. Everybody needs training.
True.
Everybody needs training. So it should actually take us to our children. What is it we have done with them? That's the last topic we have.
Yeah, let's look at that. That is very important. What are we doing with our children? What are we bringing them into? I see a lot of parents, unfortunately, they just work with rules. I read a book by one Mark Joel, and he said that rules without relationship will bring rebellion. Okay, so we give them rules, we make rules in the houses, but there's no relationship at all. What do you think parents are getting wrong?
So it's back to programming.
Okay.
The pattern we wish they were trained. In those days, it is.
Sit down.
Have you done that? They can't pour cold water pour on you. Are you still sleeping? My husband will say that his father uses one cutlass. He just use it and hit you at the back. It will never cut you. That once that thing lands on your back, we just whatever you are told to do. So when you have your own child,
this I want to pass on
the same thing, because there is no reprogramming. You didn't know better. You just carry the same thing. When there is no connection, when there is no relationship, it is only instruction. You are raising a rebellion. I agree to that. And that is what has happened. We appreciate our children to get born again, give their life to God, and they are looking at you. You that you are shouting at me.
They can't see it.
What are you even preaching?
Yeah, they can't see it in you.
You come to where we are praying during the quiet time, we are angry. Maybe you asked me to read Bible or to lead the prayer. I didn't read or got angry.
Yeah.
Then you're telling the person to get spoiled.
Allah forgive me.
And he's talking, he's like, what are you talking? I knew that you are doing, didn't even understand that what we are doing is wrong. So for the parents, a lot of them, they love their children and they want the best. But if they knew that what they are doing is wrong, they may not have been doing it. So it comes from the place of ignorance. But in 21st century, can we still remain uninformed and unaware?
Can we go out and get information?
Because once you are uninformed, what happened? You are going to do things the wrong way. One of my mentors will say, to be uninformed is to be, how does he put it? I've forgotten. But when you are not informed, in this time we are into, you are not informed. That's why I'm telling young people, please, before you go into marriage self, Please get to know who you are. Heal of your heart. Heal of your heart. Get to know who you are and heal of your heart. Because if you don't heal of your heart and you think when you get married, you are going to do better than your parents would have done better than you. They shouted at you, you didn't like it. You are going to shout back.
Children.
Why are you not going to shout back? Is there anything? Is there anything that they are doing, that they have done, that you have done differently? You haven't changed the template. You really have not changed the template. Because you have not changed the template, what exactly do you want? Do you think you want to do differently? You are going to replicate the same thing. It can even be worse.
Wow. So reprogramming, it's important. Not following the template that was handed over to us by our parents is also important. Having a relationship with our children, it's important. Yes, parents love their children, but relationship is so important. Wow, it's been a wonderful time. So much to say and so much to talk about. But we need to come back again and again and again, because you remember that Madam mentioned that the issue of family communication, money, and sex. That's also another aspect that we need to talk about. Love making in marriages is a lot, because people are just living in silence and they are dying in silence. But maybe some other time we will talk about that. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for making our time to join us today. It's wonderful having this conversation with you. And I'm sure our audience are also there. Please, you can always drop your comments and drop your questions. We'll answer them in the comment section as much as we can. And if you want to say some other things, our social media handles are there. You can just follow us on our social media handles, and then we can relate more on this platform. Of course, Madam is a certified coach, and she's also a certified counselor. Marriage counseling, anything that has to do with parenting and children and everything. She's a sure plug for you. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for coming on board.
It's my pleasure.
I look forward to having you some time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So to our audience, it's a wrap for us from the studio. See you next time. Thank you.